Hey guys, welcome back to my channel for another unboxing video. Last time we covered Mini President Xiaoshenjian by Zong-Ger. Today we got another game from Taiwan, also designed by Zong-Ger. This one much bigger scale than the last one. Personal favorite of mine, it's Pili, the New Challengers. This one is pretty unique. So it is based on the Pili franchise, which is huge in Taiwan. It's a glove puppetry show. These are all glove puppets. Like these uh these guys are all like kung fu glove puppets. People have their hands up these puppets and they're like making them swing swords, shoot fireballs, maybe even spout a little haiku before they go into battle, a little poem or something. It's pretty philosophical, but also just gratuitous violence, like blood, decapitations, everything. It's an amazing show, something to behold. It's an institution in Taiwan. This is what it used to look like back in the day. It's called yuxi, which means puppet theater. They brought it into the modern age in 1984, putting it on television, adding special effects on top of just traditional glove puppetry techniques. For those of y'all interested in the show, they have plenty of clips on YouTube that you can check out. It's not even in Mandarin Chinese. It's in Taiyu or Haklo or Hokkien or Minanyu, whatever you want to call it. But it's basically the Taiwanese local dialect. So that would probably be harder for you to understand. But it is an action show and it's pretty flashy. So maybe you don't care to go too deep into it. You just want to see these guys in action, and it is something to behold, I'm telling you. Besides that, they actually did collaborate with a Japanese company, and they released something called Thunderbolt Fantasy. Pili actually means Thunderbolt. So they collaborated with a Japanese company and released Thunderbolt Fantasy, which it probably has English subtitles. It's in Japanese. Local market, they released it in Taiwanese. Crunchyroll, you can find it. Thunderbolt Fantasy, probably Japanese with English subtitles. And I know I've been saying this has been going on since 1984, but this collaboration is standalone. It's set in the same universe, but other than a cameo from some characters throughout the series, it's a standalone thing, very accessible for newcomers. It's even got a cool musical number that includes a lot of stabbing, slashing, and decapitations, and a sadistic princess that's just enjoying the whole thing. Yeah, I totally recommend y'all checking that out. Give it some support. And that was released in 2016, 2019, that time frame. Before that, they did try and do an English version of this show called Wulin Warriors. That was in 2006. I think it was on Toonami for a minute, but it didn't really stick around. Pili, the New Challengers. This is a tie-in with the Pili franchise, and it is produced by Mizo Games and BGN, Board Game Nation, two huge board game companies in Taiwan. Excellent collaboration. You put the best of the best together, and this is what you get. This is a really unique game. There's Zong-Ger's credit. They wrote his full proper name, but here it says Zong-Ger, same guy. And Alan Wang also designed this. He's a big name in Taiwan games too. Right. Well, let's unbox this game. Actually, this isn't so much an unboxing. I'm cheating. This is a reboxing. See, I've played this many times. It's a personal favorite of mine, and I just played it a few days ago. When we were done, I just threw everything back in the box, and today I'm just going to open it up and sort it out and get it all neat and ready for the next time I play it, which hopefully will be soon. Give me one moment. Right back now, I got everything all opened up and spread out of the box, so this is kind of how I left it. Things are sort of put away, but not really to my liking. Let me just show you all the components that come with this game and explain a bit of the rules. Maybe I should start with the rules, actually. This game, they were nice enough to make this in English and Mandarin, traditional Chinese, using traditional Chinese characters for those who only learn simplified. You fools. Yeah, but they got English, and the English is pretty good. They have another, I think, BGN, and maybe also collaborating with Mizo. They have another game that I'd like to show y'all someday called 社会史, which is Corrupt Parliament. That one, that's also English and Mandarin, but the rule book in there, the English is not great. This one, I can count the flaws on one hand, and that's saying something because it's like a 20-page rule book. But yeah, so anyway, let's go over the components now. So I guess we'll start with the player board. This is the flip side. I'll get to that later, but this is kind of what you start with. You're basically playing as a martial artist, and this game is in two parts. I'll tell you about both of them, but we'll start with the first part, which is basically 2/3 of the game, and we'll call that story mode. The premise of the game is that you're a martial arts warrior in training, going out on the hero's journey, and throughout the course of story mode, you're basically beefing up your stats. You need to harness your chi, collect fate tokens, maybe make some money on the way, and hopefully get some weapons too, because that helps. Earlier I said this game is, the story mode of this game has the same mechanics as Puerto Rico. Each turn, each player, starting with the starting player, gets to choose an action, and then he gets to do that action and gets a bonus or a buff, and then everybody else does a lesser version of that action. These are the actions in the game. And instead of running a slave economy like in Puerto Rico, you're just learning Kung Fu, which, nothing wrong with that. Let's see, these are your actions. So this is you, as I said before, and these character boards, they come in different colors for the players. They also have, there's 8 total, but this is a 4-player game, 2 to 4 players. I prefer with 3 or 4 players. 2 players is kind of comes with a little bit less in the game. Anyway, the character boards, you can see this is one of the Mandarin versions. There's yellow, green, red, and blue. Those are the Mandarin ones, and these are the English translated ones. Deal with just green today. So anyway, that's your character, and you will start out with a starting technique that you choose at random. Let's say there's 4 different styles in this game. You got short swords or sabers, and then there's fists, and then there's long swords, and then there's magic. These starting techniques that you choose, they're pretty weak. They're just that you're meant to master them quickly. And you see that the person here corresponds to this, except they got a number going. When you get your starting technique, let's say you choose sabers, you will put that technique in training to start, and then one of the things you can't really use a technique in training in battle. You have to master the technique, and to master it, you have to up your chi to the corresponding levels. Here, since this is a starting technique, it's pretty easy. You just need to get your you need to get your left elbow up 1 level. It's pretty simple. If you wanted to harness your chi and master that technique, you might want to choose the harness chi action. That's one of the 6. Basically, you would pull the chi tokens out of a bag, 5 of them, and you would get your chi up to 1 level in all those areas. Everybody else will also get to do that, but they only get to pick 2 out of the 5 that you drew. This is the chi bag. If you choose the harness chi action, you would need to reach deep within yourself and pull out 5 chis. They correspond to the different acupoints on your board. In this one, you've got one right here, one right, where's that? I think I'm blocking it. Oh, right here. Here in your brain, your Bai Hui, and Danzong, that's your chest, or your heart. And then this little bullseye, where is that? Oh, yeah, it's your Yin Tang. Okay. You also have your personal bag. I bagged these myself separately. I actually got some beetle nut bags with, don't worry, they're clean, I washed them. But I found these beetle nut bags, and I got different colored ones and put the different player colors in each one. I added my chi. In your player bag, it comes with these chi tokens and some other things that I'll explain later. But anyway, so when we drew our chi out of the bag, we accumulated that chi on the different acupoints, and hopefully you would get it in the right spaces to where you can master these techniques in training. As soon as you get your chi level up there, it just goes straight to mastered. Unfortunately, somehow I didn't draw the right one. That is blank. My Chu-Chi is still at level 0. I don't know how that happened. Let me put these Chi tokens back in the bag. Somehow I missed the random, or the wild card, the wild Chi, which I could use to up the Chi on any level, any acupoint of my choice. If I got that, then I would have chosen to up this, and then this starting technique would go straight to mastered. Once I master it, I can use it in battle. It is worth 0 victory points if it's in training, but it's worth 3 once mastered. And it has an attack strength of 1. Very weak. It's just a thoughtless cut. But, it's a starting point. Anyway, so that was harnessing Chi. There we go. We'll flip that over to indicate that that's been used in this round. What should we do next? Well, we got a technique mastered. It's a pretty weak technique. So maybe we should buy a different technique. For that, the way you buy techniques is with fate coins. And this one, you would, if you choose this action, sorry, I'm having a hard time getting the camera to focus. If you choose this action, Forge Fate. Oh my god, focus. Forge Fate. You would flip it over to indicate that's used, and you would get to roll the fate dice. So when you forge fate, you would roll the fate dice. There's 5 of them. I pulled one out to show you. You'd roll them, and you'd get 5 of the corresponding runes, and you'd get to put those in your little collection of fate tokens. As with forging fate, when you, or as with harnessing Chi, when you forge fate, you roll 5 dice and get 5 tokens, and everybody else just gets 2 out of the 5. Anyway, you got some tokens, you got some Chi, you need a new technique. You might choose to spend your fate tokens to gain skills. So, flip that over. So when you do the gain skills action, each round there is going to be a couple of these out on the field. If it's depends on how many, depends on how many players are playing in the game. Anyway, let me show y'all a couple of these. So here's a couple of the techniques that maybe you can buy. In a 4-player game, you'll have 5 cards to choose from. Now, one of the bonuses of choosing to gain skills is the exchange rate. Normally, here's like the bottom part. This is the cost for any technique. The stronger it is, the more expensive it is. So, like this one only has 3 attack strength. It's not that far off from your starting technique with 1 attack strength. Pretty easy to master. It only requires you have 1 in the head and 1 in the chest area, which almost, actually, oh yeah, because we moved that one there. Anyway, but this one's pretty close. If you bought this one, you would have a magic technique that is almost mastered. You could probably master it the same turn if somebody chooses a harness Chi thing. Anyway, then this one's magic. You also have a fist technique with 4 attack strength. That one only requires 1 in the face and 2 in the crotch. The Dantian, your heavenly stem, and it goes up to 7. You can see that requires a bit more, and 9, 11. Once you get to 11, I mean, look at that. That's worth 50 victory points if you master it, and it's still worth 20 victory points even if you're just training with it at the end of the game. To buy it, you need to spend 6 white, yellow, or red tokens. That's hard to do, but there is an exchange rate. If you choose the technique, you can convert any 2 fate tokens to 1 fate token of a color of your choice. Everybody else, they have to do 3. Yeah, they have to convert 3 coins to get 1 of the color that they need. So, another bonus of choosing the gain skills thing is that you have the option to choose from the ones splayed out for everybody, but you can also choose from 2 on the bottom of the deck. Let's see. Look at that. A 4 and a 5. Very affordable, and maybe they work better for you. Nice option to have. Nice to be able to consider. Maybe you can make the other players jealous. Like, look what I get to choose from. You'll have to choose these, which you can't even afford, most of them, or that don't really suit you. Anyway, you spend your fate tokens, throw them back in the pile, you get a new technique, you put it in training. When you get your chi to the proper level, it's mastered, you can start using it in battle. So we talked about chi for mastering techniques. We talked about fate tokens for buying new techniques to start training to get to mastering. There's another form of currency in the game, and it's called money, banknotes for silver banknotes. The 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 red one right here, that's worth 1 tael of silver. The green one is worth 5. Now you'll get a little bit to start with, but if you wanted to gain more money, there's not an action for gaining money. In order to gain money, you would have to either. This is another similarity with Puerto Rico. Every round, you have 6 options to choose from, and in a 2, 3, or 4 player game, there's always going to be some actions that you're just not going to get to in a single round. Any unused action, they get 1 tael of silver put under them. So the next round, if you choose to do that action, you get a bonus tael of silver with that. So get money that way. Another way to get money is by challenging foes. If you beat them, generally you'll at least get a little bit of money. We'll get there. I'll talk about that later. But let's just say that the game's gone on a bit, and you got 2 techniques that you've mastered. Chi's up to this level, so you've mastered obviously your starting technique, but also you've been working on some kung fu. You've been working on a fist technique called Footsteps of the Immortals. Good job, you mastered it. And now you thought you might branch out into magic. You got your Giga Thunderbolt. It's a work in progress. You need looks like one. You need to harness your chi in your brain area, your bai hui, and in your chest, your heart chakra. That acupoint right there. Acupoints is what they call them in the game. But for now, you are feeling a bit like unarmed. So far, all you have is just these like this one. You have a sword technique, but you don't have a sword. So how do you get weapons? Well, you get them from the market. This is the market. You can see things cost 1, 3, or 6 taels of silver, and you'd have all these little tiles here, all over the board. There's generally the more expensive 6 ones. There's only 1 tile for each of those. As soon as somebody gets it, it's theirs, and you have no chance of getting it. You want to get on that action quick. For the 1 and 3 taels of silver ones, there's going to be 2 tiles for each one, so you have more of a chance to get it. But again, don't slack on it. If you think you need something, get it while the getting's good. So let's say you did the buy equipment action. That would mean everybody gets to go to the market and spend all the taels of silver that they have. If you choose that action, basically what happens is you get to do 2 purchases. You do your first purchase, everybody else gets to purchase, and then you get to do a second purchase. That's a way to get 2 pieces of equipment when they only get 1. You could buy here's a selection of a few just to show you. They have these relics. The inyangs, those correspond to chi. So if you bought this, you could just get 3 chis in any 3 acupoints. You could spend them wherever, just get it up there. You could, if you got this, then you could put 1 in your danzong and 1 in your bai hui, and then you can master this magic technique. So that's a good purchase. You'd need 6 taels of silver for it, but if you got it, spend it. You could also get weapons. Like this is a magic weapon. So if you have a magic technique, which currently work in progress, but if you bought this for 1 tael of silver, this long spear, that would go in your equipment section, and then any magic technique that you've mastered, this training one doesn't count, but let's say you mastered it, that has an attack strength of 4. Well, guess what? Now it has an attack strength of 6 because you got these 2 little magic icons on it. Yeah, that's helpful. Weapons are good. You generally want to get some weapons that match your mastered techniques. But if you're pretty confident you'll master this one, then why not get it now? Sometimes maybe somebody chose to go to the market early and you'd rather buy it later, but why not just buy it now, get it over with, and hurry up and master that thing. The other thing you can get are gifts, like this bottle of wine. That is something that will help you make friends. And I'll get to that next. But you get those here. They got 4 different types of gifts. They got wine, they got antiques, they have paintings, and they have musical instruments. They're very sophisticated warriors, these guys. They have expensive tastes. Let's go ahead and get to that. The fifth action you can choose is to recruit heroes. Just like with the buying techniques, there's a deck of cards for heroes, and each round there will be a selection to choose from. If there's going to be one more than the number of players. 4-player game, 5 heroes to choose from. Now, if you choose the recruit heroes technique, you get to choose first, and then everybody else gets to choose, and then whatever's left, you get that last hero. If you choose the recruit hero actions, there will be a selection to choose from, one more than the number of players. This is about the range you get. On the lower end, I've seen some as low as 1, actually, but this Jiu Xia, she uses the long swords, and she has a 4 attack strength. On the higher, oh yeah, there you go, there's a 1. Magic user, just probably just a comedic character, this Inshiren. It looks like Yin corpse person. Oh Jesus. Anyway, he's a magic user. He's got 1. Higher end, you got your 8 users, Lord of Butterflies. I mean, he uses those sabers. He's good. And then on the highest end, you got this other broadsword user. This with a 10 attack strength. Beautiful artwork. These are all the puppets in the show. So if you choose the recruit heroes option, you get to choose the heroes of your choice to help you out in battle. Generally, you want to look at the foe cards. That'll also be splayed out, because if somebody chooses a fight foes option, these are the guys they'd have to go up against. And we'll get to that later. I'll show you more about them. This is one of the stronger ones, 26. I think the highest one is 30. And but you can see they have a strength, like this one, this Divine Sin. Very strong against the longsword users. Longswords do 0 damage to this person, but they're weak against magic, so magic attacks are doubled in strength against them. You can take a look at the foes out there and decide which heroes might be better for you to work on, to make friends with. So let's say you chose the action. Obviously, you're going to go with like the strongest, assuming that that all the foes out there aren't strong against the longswords, like Divine Sin was. They would go into your mercenary section. Now, mercenaries would join you in battle against one foe, and then you would return them to the bottom of the hero deck. You're done with them. They're just one and done types. If you want them to become ride or die, you need to take them from mercenary to allied. And how do you do that? Well, you need to buy their loyalty. Right here on the side, you can see it shows that they're what they're into. This guy, in order to make him go from mercenary to ally, you need to give him 5 paintings. You'd have to buy a bunch of paintings from the gift shop. Hopefully they don't run out. 3 will cost you 6 taels of silver. You can get 1 for 1 tael of silver. I don't know. Maybe best you get 2, 2, and 1. But if they run out of 2s, you're gonna have to suck it up and pay a premium for 3 paintings. I don't know. But let's say you get that. Then he becomes your ally. Then you can use him in multiple battles, and he will join you in the second half of the game, the battle mode. Right now we're just still in the story mode. Also wanted to go over this hero with you. He's unique in the game because he is the only one, focus, thank you. He is the only one that uses 2 different weapons. Meaning, when you take him against foes, worst case scenario, he's going to do 6 damage, because if the foe is strong against one weapon, he has a second one to fall back on. So generally, he doesn't fall into any. He's not weak against any particular enemy. Another thing on these cards is this. This refers to a version of the game where you skip story mode entirely and just condense story mode into a drafting phase and then go straight into the battle portion of the game. We're not covering that. I haven't played it yet. The battle mode is fun, but kind of chaotic, and I like the Puerto Rico mechanics of learning Kung Fu, so if you get the game, you can work on that yourself. But yeah, that's like, it's basically shows that if you get this hero, and then you can also get this guy, then they have a special combined attack that they can do in battle mode. That's fun. Anyway, yeah, that's that. That's recruiting allies. Like I said, if you choose that action, you get first choice, and then you get the last choice. You get 2, everybody else just gets 1. So chances are you'll get the strongest. Everybody else will take the 4, the 8, and the other 8, and leave you with 1. You know, they get 8, you get 11. Not bad. The last of the 6 actions is fighting foes. So, fighting foes. This one, There's a deck of foe cards. You get a different set of them each round. This is where you choose to fight them, and this is really where the money is in this game. When you fight, when you choose challenge foe, you also get +3 strength to whatever you're going to be throwing at these guys. That helps a lot. If you get that, you can choose one mastered technique, only one. I know you got a lot. One weapon that corresponds with that technique. Maybe you'd want to choose your strongest technique, and that would be these fists with a 9. And if you have a fist weapon, that would help. The stronger the better. If you could get a 4, that'd be great. So that's 13 right there. Those 4 fists and your fist technique, your footsteps of the immortals. I guess it's more of a kicking technique. And you can take that against these foes. I said we had 13. If we choose this guy, he's actually very weak. He's only got a 5 strength. The problem is he is strong against fisticuffs users. They do 0 damage to him. He's weak against sabers, and everything else just does normal damage to him. If you had a saber technique, which you do, it's your starting technique. It's a 1. Maybe you could get another 2 sabers or whatever for 1 tail of silver. That would bring it up to 3. You could go against this guy. It would do double damage. Your 3 would become 6. That would kill him. And plus you got the strength bonus for choosing fight foes. So that 3 becomes a 6, and you add another 3 on top of it. That's overkill. This guy's got an attack strength of 9, so you need to get 9 or greater. But let's say you're going against, I don't know, Hua, with who's got 30 strength, and they are weak against magics. That kind of helps you. If you got this, your 4 becomes an 8. Add 3 on top of it. If you have a magic weapon, if you had a 4 strength weapon, your 4 becomes an 8, and then double that becomes 16. You're more than halfway there, but that's still not enough to beat him. Maybe you need some help. Let's say you bring in your allies, and you got this guy. He's sorry, ready to go. Come on, guys. Come on. I paid for your loyalty. You have to help me no matter what. I bought you. Oh, maybe this game is like Puerto Rico. Anyway, so you got a magic user here. He's got 1, which is pathetic, but at least he's going against somebody weak against magic. That's 2. So you're up to 18. And then you have this guy. He doesn't use magic, but he does use... This guy is strong against those sabers. And this guy is a saber user, but he's also a broadsword user. Ye Xiao Chai, he can do an additional 6 damage. What's 18 plus 6? I know math. That's 24. So we are almost there. We just need 6 more. Well, let's maybe consider pulling out our mercenary. If we use him, we could definitely beat him, but then we'd lose this mercenary. Now he needs 5 paintings, and frankly, we're cash strapped. We have 0 money. 5 paintings, that's going to be a lot of time investments. Maybe we just sacrifice this mercenary, throw him and our allies and our weapons and our techniques into battle, and beat this 30 guy. We lose our ally, thank you for your service, but we were able to defeat this guy. And if we do, well, he goes in our fallen foes area. You can see they're worth 1 victory point for all their attack points. We get 30 victory points just for beating that guy. But that's not all. They are worth money, chi, and fate tokens. We would get 5 tails of silver for beating him. We could up any 2 acupoints here. Up our chi in any 2 acupoints. That's amazing. And then we can roll 3 fate dice and get 3 fate tokens. So we can buy more techniques and hopefully master them and just be that much more technique rich. Now, besides the roster of foes below that are out for each round, besides them, you also have an optional foe. Here's the main bad guy of the series. His name is Chi Tian Di. He's always an option to fight in a 3 or 4 player game, not a 2-player game. In a 2-player game, it's broken if you have this option out there. But he's always out. He's got an attack strength of 40, and he has no weaknesses. If you beat him, you up 4 acupoints, you roll 4 fate dice. So 4 acupoints, 4 fate dice, and then also you get a very unique bonus. He has 4 different weapons you can choose from. They are stronger than anything you can get in the market. They're up to 5. And then you also have this god level technique. Hard to master, but if you do, it's amazing, worth 20 victory points. So you get If you choose that, well, the weapons are also worth 20 victory points because you have 5 times 4, so that's pretty good. So that's also 20. So you got these. This one requires 20 no matter what, but also it's a really good technique. It does 15 damage. So yeah, if you're able to beat that guy, and to beat him, you can only do one weapon that matches one technique. So one technique, one weapon, and then as many mercenaries and allies as you can. You'll probably need a lot more mercenaries and allies if you want to beat that guy. Let's see. But yeah, that is where the money's at. Best thing you can do is obviously get ready to fight the strongest foe in any round, and try, if you can, to choose to fight foes when the other players in the game are not ready to fight them. So maybe you beat the one that's at 15, and then you leave this 22 that nobody can beat, and a 5 and a 9 that are easy to beat but not really worth all that much. The Demon King Coffin. He's a coffin That's, wow. Just noticed that. That's distracting. Yeah. So yeah, I know one time early in the game I was able to get my starting technique mastered, and I had some allies, so I chose to fight foes, and I beat one of them, and the other guys hadn't even mastered their starting technique yet, so they kind of had to forfeit. I think one of them was able to beat one, but I beat a stronger one, so that really tripped them up. That's probably mean to me. Oh well. Anyway, we have covered all the actions, starting techniques, stuff. What else is there to cover? Oh, I guess there is, in your starting bag with your chi tokens and your meeples that we haven't gotten to yet, you also have this crystal. Now, this crystal is worth either 2 fate tokens or 2 gifts that you can give an ally, a mercenary, to make them your ally. Only those things. It's not worth chi. It'd be nice if it was, but it wasn't. This is a one and done thing. Everybody's got it. You can use it if you need to buy a technique from the market with fate tokens. It's worth any 2 fate tokens, or you can use it if you need to quickly turn a mercenary into an ally before a battle. Just whenever you decide to use it, say you're using it, maybe right before battle or right as you're going to buy a technique. Techniques, where are those? There's one. And spend it, put it away. You don't have it for the rest of the game. So that's that. Also, besides that, here's your starting player token. And what else in this game? These are the other starting techniques for the other players. Well, this game also has a faction option. If you choose, so basically, there are a certain number of factions. So factions are an option in this game. When you start the game, you can either randomly assign, or if you have a preference, I guess you could just do straight up players choose which faction they're with. But every player gets one faction. No two players are on the same faction, but you got your Buddhists, your Ruists, which is Confucianism. The name for the philosophy is Ruism. Then you got your Taoists, if you prefer that pronunciation, and demons, just straight up demons. And each faction comes with a faction technique. Actually, it comes with 2 faction techniques, bonuses, different abilities. Just helps you through the game. Some of them get you more chi as things go on. Others do other benefits. It just depends on your preference. So you get your faction. You choose which faction benefit you prefer. And they also come with a technique and training. Yeah, there you go. Boom. And you put that in your training, and you have to earn it just like you do normally by harnessing your chi. And they also come with a faction mercenary to start with, and they're pretty strong. But if you but you have them at your disposal as a mercenary. They have very expensive taste. They need 5 different gifts. You get your choice to give them whatever you want, all different things. You can mix it up. You can give them a wine and 2 paintings and 2 potteries or whatever, but you gotta give them 5 things, and then they can become your ally and stick with you, ride or die throughout battle. That is an option in this game. It's a fun one. I've only done it once, because usually it takes a while to explain people the basic game first, and I don't want to overload them to begin with. But you get a group of people that have been around the block once or twice, and you can bust out these. It's a nice way to mix things up. Alright, so after a fixed number of rounds, story mode ends, and you have to do final scoring before you can go to battle mode. Final scoring. Basically, your fate tokens and your money are worth 1 victory point each. Your mercenaries are worth nothing, so use them or lose them because they're worth nothing. Your training techniques, the ones that you were training on, they're worth 1 victory. They're worth they're worth the grayed out number of victory points here, if they're in training. Now, if you master them, they are worth the filled in number of victory points, way more. Awesome if you can master them. Your fallen foes, you saw them before. They had strengths anywhere from like 5 to 30, and one of them with 40. If you can beat that, the big bad, but they're worth 1 victory point for all that. So, you beat a 9, you get 9 victory points. If you beat a 30, you get 30 victory points. Pretty good. Then you got your weapons and inventory and stuff, and they're worth 4 per icon. If you got this one, that's 4 times 4, that's 16, and this one 4 times 2, that's 8, so 24. Nothing to sneeze at. I think I did that math right. And then you also get points for your chi. Whatever the lowest value is, if you get a 0, if any one of the acupoints is still at 0, you get no points for chi. You have to have at least one chi in every acupoint. So if you're at level 1, where basically your lowest level is at 1, then you get 5. And if you can get everything up to 3, you get 35. You can also get things up to 4, but there's no bonus for 4. I think that's just extra effort you have to go through to master some particularly hard techniques. But if you can get them all up to level 3, and I've never seen that happen before, you can get 35 more victory points. Yeah, that's about it. That's your score. When you go into battle mode, if you go into battle mode, you can go ahead and take your score, cut it in half, rounding up, and there is some bonuses you can add to it depending on who came in first, who came in last. But you'd add those bonuses to it. That is now your life points. And you and your opponents are now going to battle to the death. It really doesn't matter who came in first and second and third and last in story mode. What matters is who doesn't die in battle. Welcome to battle modes. In battle mode, what you take with you from story mode is your allies, not your mercenaries, but your allies, your meeples, and your weapons that match techniques. So, your techniques, go ahead and flip those over. There you go. Your player board you also flipped over. Check this out. This is a rest action. This was your starting technique. Hopefully you mastered it. It becomes a rest action. And the other techniques you got, they become normal attacks. This one was a faction technique. You can tell by the different coloring on it. Most of the other techniques you buy throughout the game are like they got the white bottom going on. All right, check out your weapons. You don't have any saber techniques. Your starting technique was a saber technique, but it's now just a rest action. It doesn't really use weapons anymore, so you don't really need this. You do have this magic weapon, which pairs nicely with this magic attack. Now check it out. It has a Roman numeral at the bottom. This one has a Roman numeral 1 on the long spear. That corresponds down here. So if you had no weapon for this technique, it would just do 12 damage. If you have this Roman numeral 1 matches this Roman numeral 1, so it goes up to 14. Not that much of a difference, but it could be make or break. You get it up to, I think this is only if you beat the heaven-forsaking tyrant, the big bad of the game, the one that's 40 with no weaknesses. You can get a weapon that's this level. It'll bring it up to 24. So basically doubled. But that's kind of hard to do. So maybe if you get a level 3 weapon, you can get it up to 20. That's pretty good. Now, some techniques for battle mode, they have a special effect. So this one, if you hit an opponent, they move 1 less space. This one ignores all shield effects. So basically, if they have a way of blocking an attack, this attack will hit it anyway. It's unblockable. There are other techniques. The worst one is the one that makes you bleed. So if you get hit with that technique, every turn thereafter, you take extra damage, even if you don't get hit by anything. That can wear down the strongest. Total game changer. Anyway, that's that. This is your personal battle board. And these are your meeples that were in your player bag that you haven't used until now. Oh, I should probably talk about allies first. Your allies. Your mercenaries went away. You still got your allies. Now you don't really need their card anymore. What you need is the token. this is a minor complaint I have about the game. There's a lot of faces in here, and it is hard to pick out the face on the card with the one on the token. It's doable, but you gotta like really go through them all, comb through them just to find them. Like, I might get tripped up looking for this guy among these faces, and turns out there he is. I can tell by the hairdress, his is a bit unique. Also not helping is the fact that the number on the token does not correspond with the number on the card. But, oh well. Anyway, there's our ally. We can get rid of this card, along with that weapon that we don't have a technique for. And, yeah. And our opponents do the same. So you have two meeples. You put one of them on your personal board, and you can put the other on the board with your opponents. And you can put your ally out there too. He's fighting with you. One thing I like to do, just to distinguish my allies from the others, is I like to put one of my cheat tokens on. That way they know he's with green, and the others would do the same for their colors. So anyway, you got your personal board with a shield in front of it. This way you can start calculating what you're going to do. I keep all my weapons on top of the board, and then I choose which attack I'm going to do and also where I'm going to move my meeple. So I will come up with what I'm going to do. I can move the meeple 2 spaces, and I want to think, where are they going to think I'm going, and make sure that I don't get hit that way. I might go over here. And the next thing is, you see how this meeple has his arm sticking out? That is the direction for the attack. It needs to face a hex side. Now, what techniques do I have? I think I'm going to use this one, the Demon Sword Wind Scar. I'll take these other two that I'm not using, and I'll put them under my playboard so they know I'm not using them. And then I will put this one on top so everybody knows that's the one I'm using. Looks like it does 25 damage, and it's unblockable. So if I am pointing it this way, it will do, well, let's see, there we go. It will affect the square I'm in. It'll affect the square I'm in, and these 2 rows here, all the way up to 1, 2, 3. Yep, there we go. It'll affect all those. Once I've chosen that, so I leave that there. I wait for my opponents to choose theirs, and then we'd all reveal at the same time. This is the front of the shield, by the way. Isn't that nice? Really beautiful. Let's see, it's green at the bottom. That's which player's using it. And it's got like the whole cast there. Nice little action poses going. Love it. Nice little things like that. Very unique. Anyway, you'd reveal, and then you would resolve. So your meeple moved 1, 2 spaces over here, and maybe, I don't know, this guy probably he wanted to come to the center and shoot like, I don't know, that way. Red came over here, 2 spaces. Yeah, depending on what techniques they'd have, you'd see who hit who. I seem to have missed red, who is in the center area that my technique doesn't hit. But I did manage to hit yellow. He's taken 25 damage. Let's see. And red, I don't know, maybe he had some technique that shoots straight and hits me. I think yellow might have missed, but it really depends. Some techniques, as you can see, they shoot in all sorts of directions. You never know, so it's hard to predict. Anyway, after you move your pieces and see who hit who and deduct damage from your HP accordingly, which again was your victory points divided by 2 plus a bonus, then you get to move your allies. I think I'm going to go here. If an ally moves into anybody's space, they get damage equal to the number on the token. Red's pretty close. He could, if red doesn't move, then my guy could move into his space on the next turn and then just do 12 extra damage to him. And these guys will move theirs. Maybe this one goes out here and this one goes over here. And this guy, he's got 3 allies, but they're pretty weak. They only got 2 each. I guess they were very affordable. I don't know. Anyway, you'll probably spread them out more. That's that. You just keep battling that way. You plan your moves and execute accordingly to tidy up the damage. Once you use a technique, you cannot use it again. You just leave that out in front. You leave that out in front, and you can't do any of those techniques again. Once you're out of techniques, you're out of techniques until you do a rest action. Once you do a rest action, you can move your meeple when you do a rest action. You can still move the number of spaces, 2 spaces or whatever. You probably want to put him somewhere where he's not going to get hit. Just try and think where they're least likely to aim, and watch out for these pawns that can do some damage. If I moved him here, he could still get well, 2, 4, 6. That's not nothing. I could get 6 damage that way, but I do a rest action, and once I do a rest action, then all my techniques that I've already used come back to me. Yep, that is that. Just keep doing that until there is only one man left standing. And that is the winner of the game overall. They might have done well at story mode, but if they did not win battle mode, they did not win the game. So this is actually a 3-player game, as you can tell by the number of meeples. The way this works, there's 2, 3, and 4-player games. So if it's a 2-player game, obviously you versus your opponent. 3-player game, it's not one-on-one-on-one. It's actually the high score versus the 2 lower scores team up and team up on the guy with the highest points. So 2-on-1 in that case. And then 4-player game, the guy with the highest score in story mode teams up with the guy with the lowest score, and then the 2 in the middle team up together. And yeah, that's basically how the game works. It's really fun. I love that. Let's see. What I love about the game is that it's got really fun mechanics like Puerto Rico, but less slavey and more kung fu fighting. You are constantly making really hard decisions. Sometimes you have to choose between whether or not you're going to master a technique, or if a mercenary is going to be one and done, or what. Maybe somebody had to fight foes before you were ready to make somebody your permanent ally, so you just have to throw them away like that or forego fighting. I don't know, just very hard decisions. There's a lot of analysis paralysis going on there. There's a variety within this game. Like I said, there's the story mode, and then there's the battle mode. And then there's versions where you just do story mode, and then there's one where you skip to battle mode without a story mode, and instead story mode's condensed down into this drafting thing where you can actually let me see, where's the heroes? That's when, like, if you do the just straight up battle mode, you can bid for heroes, and if you happen to get, let's say, this guy and then this other person that he's friends with, they get like a bonus technique. I think I put those in the bag, didn't I? Maybe I didn't. Oh yeah, here they are. See, if you happen to get 2 people that are friends, they get like a special attack all their own. It's pretty good. It covers a wide variety on the board. Oh, remember that bonus challenge where if you fight the big bad, you get this? You can choose to get the special technique. Where did I put him? I think I put him with the other foes. Oh yeah, there's the guy. 40, no weaknesses. Lots of prizes if you manage to beat him. And if you beat him, you can choose the super ultra special technique. The Light of God is what they call it. As you can see, it does 30 damage, which, trust me, is huge. Has all sorts of special effects, and its range is the entire frickin' board. The only downside is once you use that, you can't use any techniques, so you have to do a rest action the next turn. But everybody gets guaranteed 30 damage, totally unblockable. As I was saying, it's got great variety, hard choices to make. It's pretty balanced, because story mode, obviously somebody's going to have more, but then once battle mode comes, everything goes out the window. It's anybody's game. You can gang up on the guy if you can guess their moves right. Even somebody who's like 20 points down, 40 points down to start, they can catch up pretty quick if they got some good techniques on them and they can land a hit. Especially any technique that makes them bleed. That's hit them once and then just run. Just run. Maybe let your allies go after them at that point. The theme, I mean, it's beautiful. It's I love like sharing with people this game, but I also love telling them about the show. Again, check out Thunderbolt Theater if you have Crunchyroll. Go see these guys in action. It's just insane. They're like Kung Fu Barbie dolls. I just imagine the old guys that have been around making this thing since the 80s, just spending infinite amount of time just brushing their hair, making it look good, and then just like, throwing dust up and kicking ass with puppets and stuff. Kids playing with action figures and stuff. It's insane. I wish I had this when I was a kid. I wish Power Rangers and Dragon Ball Z was cool, but this is on a different level. Check it out. Thunderbolt Fantasy on Crunchyroll. If you're in Taiwan, check out Pili. If you're not in Taiwan, still check out the clips on YouTube. They're a trip. And also this game, it's like two and a half hours to play. two and a half hours to play, but it goes by so fast. There's just like nonstop. Everybody's got to make a choice. Hurry up, accumulate that chi. We're on to the next thing. Come on, pick your technique. Come on, it's battle mode. What technique are we doing next? Should we be doing a rest action? So fast paced. You are not bored or like, sitting around thinking, waiting for your turn in this game. And just the variety and the uniqueness of this game. I know I've been comparing it to Puerto Rico a lot, but that's just story mode. Once battle mode starts, that's like just a free-for-all melee, a hex and meeple slugfest, a sub-regiment level war game. It's like I don't know. Can you hex and counter a friggin' fist fight? I don't know. Is there anything like that? Is there any game that has that and a story mode that just changes into a whole nother game midway through? I don't know. If there is, please leave me a comment. I want to check that out next. But I think, let's see, if I'm gonna split hairs and come up with a complaint, one thing I would say is the chi scoring was a little bit difficult. Having at least one chi to get 5 points. I thought it was like basically you'd get 5 points for each one chi that you have and 15 points for every 2 chi acupoint. I don't know, that threw me off a bit. I think that was worded a little bit unclearly on the player board. And that's a minor complaint. The ally tokens, when you have to like, match the ally card with the ally tokens and the numbers don't match and some of the faces are kind of the same and you have to look for a very particular hairstyle or like I think there's one card in there where like they took two different pictures of the same guy and like it threw me off trying to look for his token when that time came before battle. That was a little bit difficult, but that's all right. That's just an extra minute in a 2.5 hour games. And then the art. I love the art. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. But if you just got the game, you wouldn't even know that this is based on a puppet show. I guess photos wouldn't do these puppets justice. You really got to see them moving and kicking ass and stuff. But I wish it was like a little bit more clear within the game that this is a puppet show. And but the art they have is gorgeous. It's fun. It gets you into the martial arts theme of it. Just a gorgeous, excellent game. It's my favorite. I carry it everywhere, always hoping that like an opportunity will come up to play it every time I go to the game night or go to the war game club and they're having an off night. You know, there's like 2 or 3 people around. Love busting this one out. It's a hit every single time. But yeah, that's my video. Thank you all for joining me. Check out Thunderbolt Theater on Crunchyroll. Share my video with anybody you think might like this game. Leave me a comment if you think if you've tried this game before or a similar game with like, crazy mechanics that turns into 2 different games halfway through. Subscribe. Join me next time. I'll do another game. Working on this DMZ one. I'm going to be playing that this week, so maybe I'll have a video on it soon. Also, been meaning to make a video on this one, Insurgent Algeria. But yeah, like, subscribe, share. I think that's generally what you do with it. Yeah, and please buy this game. It was made in 2023, I think, or maybe 2022, by BGN and Mizo. It's pretty popular. There's still some copies in game stores in Taiwan, I think. Otherwise, look for it on Board Game Geek. Buy a copy of it there. And that's it. Join me next time. Can't wait to see y'all again. Thank you.